You Africans, please listen to me as Africans. And you non-Africans, listen to me with open mind.
Welcome to the Smiling Sufferer podcast. On the mic, you got Corey, Courageous, the Mayor. I forgot my other one.
Yeah, that's a cue to stop.
And next to me, we have Lady of Laurel.
Can we not?
She's back this time.
She's back in the house.
You guys miss me.
And
So you're not going to answer my question?
oh, of course we missed you. I missed you.
Awkward.
No. I actually didn't. I missed you.
I was asking you too now.
We missed you, Jerry.
Small.
Welcome back in our drug dealer chic, giving them.
Introduce me first of all before you continue.
And then next to my girl Yeti, we have Mr. G,
AKA
I forgot what it was.
the Black James Bond.
The Black James Bonds, the corniest
So let's-
nickname of all.
Let me give you guys a visual image of Corey right now.
Looking like...
So Corey got this, you know those back in the days,
You guys are about to pick on me.
was that Ferrari logo?
Yeah.
You know when Ferrari
Yeah.
went
the
into
Puma Ferrari shirt, the Polo.
trying to get money from niggas that can't afford Ferraris, and they started branding. So Corey got the Polo. First of all, it's not ironed. That's
It's all
You got
wrinkly.
jokes.
It's wrinkly.
You got
Then number
jokes.
two, my nigga got shades on. Talking about it's
Indoors.
polarized.
They're not shades.
So what are
They're
they?
polarized.
Talking about it's
There's still
polarized.
shades.
It's like look, it's like HD inside.
It
this
doesn't
thing.
matter.
Talking about
It's still
I
polarized.
like the
shades.
look.
Okay, but
I
you look
like
like a dude.
Then-
I like the look inside the glasses. That's what
Okay.
Then we got Yeti over here in a full-on tracksuit, out here looking like a British roadman. You know,
I
out
need
here
to be
looking like
comfortable, Jerry. I didn't feel like getting out of bed this morning.
That guy. What's that
that
guy's
British
name?
guy. I forgot his name.
Dude.
Oh no,
No.
Big Shaq. Out here
Big
looking
Shaq.
like Big Shaq. You know,
Big Shaq.
full on
I hate you
Adidas
guys.
stripes. You know,
Give me those Big Shaq.
you know. But hey, man,
Drug dealer chic.
she's in the mood today, man.
Yep.
She's ready to drop some gems for you guys.
Anyway.
Yo, what you guys been up to, man? Yeti, welcome back.
Look
Oh.
who's talking. You
Me?
have the same thing. You just have a hoodie on
Look
top
at him
to cover it.
with his.
I see stripes on
With his
stripes.
roses.
Listen,
Nigga, please.
I got my.
Right.
So, Yeti, what you been up
hoodie
to
with
now?
roses on there.
Nothing working.
Did you get a chance to listen to the last week's
Yeah.
episode? What did
I
you
saw
think
you try
about
to
it?
replace me with
No, we didn't.
But
What do you look? You see, Wale.
What happened?
It was Wale that was talking nonsense. I said we can
Me?
never replace Yeti. Yeah.
uh-huh.
It was Wale that was like, "Oh yes, just for this week." I'm like, "No,
Replace?
we can't replace." Yeah,
I never said that, bro.
yeah, that soldier boy.
Oh gosh.
He's a head case.
Yeah, Corey hit me up about it. We had a guest coming through that wanted to have on the show, and you know, I said, hey, nothing wrong with that. You know, it's good to give the viewers a little extra spice, and it turned out to be better than expected because he had his brother, he had his sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
you
a
know,
full house.
We had a full house of different opinions, you know. So
It was nice.
I mean, people who listened to it told me they liked it too. So I mean,
Yep. Some very interesting.
there'll be a lot of interesting comments. Some I can say,
Interesting
some
comments.
I can't say, but yeah, it was very interesting comments.
But go check it out. It's called "Small Girl Big God." That's the name of the episode. So what's going on now?
Oh, and I see your boy Files liked the
Hey,
video.
yeah, I saw that. He liked it on Instagram.
Corey's probably doing cartwheels at home and he liked it.
Nah, it ain't even that serious.
Oh, I kind of met him one time.
You did?
Kind of.
That's good.
When he was
Where?
here in Maryland for the concert or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was at Costco. I guess on their way to
Interesting.
the concert. So my boyfriend met him and then he FaceTimed me and I said hi and spoke to him.
That's what's up now.
So that's my Fox story.
So what did you guys think of Red Handed? The song we just played.
I wasn't really paying attention.
It was alright.
It was alright.
Introduce the song again.
It was one of the few songs on the Mayor of Lagos
So-
album that I actually liked.
I like the song.
Red Handed with
I saw
Peruzzi.
the. I don't even want to call it freestyle session anymore because it ended up being a song. So I don't know if it was truly a freestyle session, but it was. They had this little video when they were in the studio. I guess they just recorded it I thought at the time it was a freestyle. But it was pretty dope. It was like a minute long. You know how Instagram clips are, and I liked it, and they did put it as a song. Peruzzi is someone I wanted to look out for this year. But
what?
He's in his feelings. I mean, that whole
About
comment
what?
of
Tenny,
I feel like
Wait, what did you say about
when
Tenny?
when you start feeling entitled and you haven't even done shit, like guys.
Wait. Okay, so what
like
did you say?
drop music first, drop a body of work first. Like Tenny's drop
A lot.
So I think he has a problem with Tenny, and I understand.
What
You
did
know
he
that
say?
Alonge guy, whatever that guy was that was talking on his podcast that other time that said something about Tenny. We spoke about it, that he said something about Tenny that she's not attractive or people don't.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure people do think that, and it's played into her hands too, because I'm pretty sure, like Tenny would drop a song and before people listen to it, they're already hyping it up. Tenny's lovable for people, I guess. People are loving her based on maybe from the outside. People didn't really accept her, so everyone is like, "We love Tenny."
Also, but Tenny's been on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah,
for a
but some
minute.
people didn't know that
Well,
now.
right.
So I guess artists are feeling like what? But when I listen to her music, I'll tell you I didn't like the first song she dropped, Virgin or whatever. I thought it was a stupid song, truthfully. But she kept dropping better songs. Uyo was a good song, and she deserves it.
So what did
but
he
he
say,
thinks
Gaga?
she got the next rated artist or something.
Yeah, she got the award.
Because he feels he deserves it.
Well,
He feels
you can
he
feel whatever you want. That doesn't
He's made
mean
more money than her,
That means nothing.
and I guess because he has a song with.
To be honest with you, I
Two-Face.
don't feel like spending that much time on this topic.
But anyways,
because, it's like Peruzzi. I want to see. Like,
But anyways, I want to see more from Peruzzi. He hasn't done shit. Forget it.
so then, how do you deserve
None,
something you
none
haven't
of
done
Davido's
anything?
artists has done anything to me.
I want to talk about this O2 concert.
Mayorkun,
about to
hold on,
sell
before
it
we
out.
get there, Mayorkun's the only one who has a project. I'm sorry, you guys can't keep writing the videos dick and feeling like you're shit.
Those
The
are
only
fine
person
words.
who's only person who's done something independent is Mayorkun, and he failed. If I'm being honest, Mayorkun dropped super nice singles, but the album was not up to the single. So Peruzzi, the rest of
I
y'all,
wouldn't say he failed.
okay,
I mean, that's
it failed my expectations.
Okay,
And let me
fair.
quote my expectations. The same way I said Davido had a bad year last year. My expectations for Davido was I want you to have the year Wiz had. Do you understand? And
Okay.
he didn't. So expectations are different. My expectations for Mayorkun was I want you to be the next guy we're talking about outside of. I wanted him to have the year Burna Boy had. That was what I wanted from Mayorkun with those singles, and he didn't. He's nowhere near that. So to me, that's a failure. But to him, that might have not been his goals.
Yeah.
So don't let me use the word failure, but yeah, expectation.
So what do you
O2.
guys think? Oh yeah, what do you guys think about this O2? It looks like
I
they
told you.
they might be selling it
Davido
out.
said
Oh no,
he's
it's sold
gonna
out
sell
already.
out.
He posted it.
They did.
Yeah.
You know, and I told you. I said Davido has the capacity to. Will he? I don't know. Reason I'm saying is Davido doesn't have to drop music to even sell out O2.
That's
Davido
true.
can go quiet for 2 years and still sell out O2. He's loved. You know, but the thing I don't like is, and that's what makes me hate. Like, someone was reminding me the other day how I used to be a team OBO. Like, literally, if they had told me to join HKN at the time, self, I'll have put the tattoo on my hand.
Are you
HKN. I
serious?
loved Davido when it first came out. But he's not, I don't want to say he's screwed up. People started affiliating with the way he started behaving.
His fall is
I
moving
didn't
up the
see
charts,
myself.
He started believing his own hype.
Not even. I didn't see myself like I could relate more to Wizkid as a person, and I love Wizkid outside of the music. Davido, my love for him is strictly now based on the music, which is why I can easily say he had a bad year. His people now. One of the guys he took to England for the first time out here putting on Instagram. Yes, we sold out O2. Not like the Wizkid show that was Afro Republic and he had other artists. Like, guy, let that boy is. Do you understand? And this is how and this is the people that cause the problem. They always want to throw Wizkid's name in there. But it's the same Davido that will tell you Wizkid was the one that influenced him to want to sell out O2. But his boys, and for the fact that his boys are openly doing this, it means in their camp they're talking about it.
Yeah. And he must sanction it.
And that's the thing that pisses me off. Is like, yo, you guys, you know what? You guys are about. First of all, history can't be made twice. Davido, history cannot be made twice. History, first African artist to sell out O2, whether you like it or not, was Wizkid. There's nothing, you can't sell out twice. Unless they extend it and then you sell out the second time.
Right.
So forget it.
So they're saying he's fall.
They're saying
he's moving up
oh
the
yeah,
charts
fall. I told
recently.
you that Americans like
America
fall.
love
And they've been playing on the radio.
all
and
over.
There's a chance that it might even make the Billboard charts.
Yeah.
Wow.
If
I
it
think
hasn't
I think
already.
it did. I don't
Okay,
like
it has
70s or
already.
something like that. Yeah.
Oh, you saw the article? Was you the one that posted?
Yeah, I
You were
posted
one
the
that posted
article.
They
It's a good
love
look. Very good
Fall
look.
is a
And they're
good-
saying this is like really one of the first songs that have really connected like that.
So the thing with
Because
Fall.
Wizkid hasn't
So the
dropped
thing,
anything yet,
okay,
right?
so the thing with
Has he?
Fall, and I would always still go
So
back.
this is the one up on Davido.
I would still
Let's-
always, but don't let's be naive.
Does Wizkid have a
Wizkid has a
single?
say in this
Does Wizkid have a single in the US that's on the charts?
by himself.
That he's not featured on his song.
By himself? No, I don't think
Has
so.
he ever?
No.
By
Not that I
himself?
remember.
No, not that I know.
We need an intern
But-
to be looking this.
but I'll tell you
because
something.
I hope we're not wrong. I hope we're
But
not.
I don't
wrong.
know. But my conversation, I'll tell you this. My conversation with more than one American is Wizkid was the one that introduced them to this song and to this life of Afrobeats.
I mean, of course. Yes. no.
And they loved it. They looked into him, and because of that, stumbled into other artists.
like
And they
Davido.
stumbled across Fall, and they said, "Hey, we love this." I think they like it just because of like all the
It's exciting
chuku
times, man.
chuku, all the
Yeah.
sounds that they don't understand.
I was surprised about Fall because Fall,
No, it's Fall.
Davido, the way he's singing, he's singing
love
like
it.
a Niger guy,
Yeah, like a Niger guy, and they love it.
and he's using Niger
Yes,
lingo,
and they love it.
and they love it, and it's like,
We'll give him
this
kudos.
could be an opening.
I don't even know if he
This could be a
thought-
huge opening
even if I
for
was
other
gonna
artists
pick-
like him.
yes.
and I think the you usually call it tikpe sound, Abi, or
the pong pong sound.
yeah, the pong pong sound.
Yeah, pong pong sound. Yeah.
Maybe if people can replicate that and remix that sound, but they've been
But
doing it a
they're
lot
trying
lately.
to now.
They've
That's
been
why.
doing it a
That's
lot
why
lately.
people are. That's why Drake was talking to Techno. That's why Sierra got Techno. That's why Techno is big. Pandora did an article on next best African art. It was Techno.
Well,
You guys like, and that's people
Wait,
be
so what's up
sleeping.
with Techno Seth?
People be sleeping on this people. You know. Unfortunately, we like noise. We like the loudest. We don't like underground. What's going on underground? We don't care. Wiz had his underground thing. Techno is having that for now. And the funny thing about you guys that don't understand is that these guys that are doing this thing underground for y'all is so that your great artist
Can
can
come and break
come
it
out
in,
and break
right.
into the market.
Right.
But you
Yep.
guys don't care.
well, someone has to do the back.
When I
the
mentioned
legwork,
techno in my
the
top 10, I
foundational
got a
work.
lot of techno. What's techno? And I'm like, guy, trust me, man. That guy, your first artist is out here today flourishing because of techno.
I mean, it takes someone to do the foundation.
Yeah, it takes on to do the foundation. You know, this producer
this
this. So the sound is coming into. So, but the video, shout out. I don't even think he thought Fall was going to be the one because from that year, I thought the best song that year was Fire. And then I thought it was If. You know, but the video.
If also made some ways, but I don't think I don't
no,
think
it's
it
not
rose
good
up,
as Fall,
rose up
no.
the charts the way this
But-
Fall is.
Take away from the talent. I feel someone opened the door. The same way I always say the band opened the door for these guys, and
that's
someone else
true.
probably opened the door for the band. But
They'll keep opening.
they'll keep opening the door,
Like,
and
it's
I want him
exciting
to. I
times.
want him
I'm
to do
excited
it.
for
I don't want
Afrobeats.
his people to be like, oh,
If we can make it into that,
do it because
American market.
when you had somebody sell out with the quote unquote Afro Republic, he opened the door for you to come and say, no, you know
sell
what, let's
out,
do it
right,
myself, and it's
right.
going to open the door for the next person to come out and say, don't get start making it seem like.
Don't forget your
Don't forget,
predecessors,
yeah.
basically.
good times all around.
But yeah,
Good
shout out to
times.
Fall. It was a
times.
good track.
Any other music updates, Wale?
No music update though.
Nothing.
Fowl's album still doing good.
Is
Yep,
I've been playing it.
I'm looking forward to. I don't know if they're gonna stream it. I'll try and watch it.
What?
Stream what?
The video's O2 stuff.
Oh, is
You
it
know,
gonna be streamed?
I don't know. I'm gonna try and see if it's streamed. I fuck with.
Well, on
music.
YouTube or something, or
If this podcast had started 2 years ago, you guys would have thought I was a Davido fan because I love Fire. Even my mom. still asks
speaking
me
of
about Fire.
Davido, what was he? Someone said he blew all his O2 money already on those.
I don't know. It might be a joke.
Any African news, African updates,
Or what?
just general.
So Buhari fired the
The judge,
saw
right?
that.
the.
Did he fire him or he suspended him?
Suspended.
Suspended him,
That's what I
man. You
saw.
can't do that.
Wait, so
not in the
what was the
Constitution.
reason?
I think they said the reason was because
It's an independent. First of all, it's an independent arm of the government on its own. You don't have the right to suspend.
but I think his asset declarations were off.
Buhari has he done his own declaration?
But it's the law though,
So is
But
the
this
guy
guy's one is off.
suspected of like corruption or something?
Yeah,
and it seems like PDP.
I mean-
they suspended their campaign.
the guy
So
said.
Atiku responded by suspending his campaign and saying, "Look, there's something going on here." Basically, they're saying that Buhari is threatening democracy.
Yeah, that's the.
I don't know. We'll see how it
You know,
goes.
I kind
How?
of feel
If-
like they're
if-
feeding into.
I feel like I don't. With Niger news, I just
You
never
never know.
really know.
Yeah,
what
Right.
the
but
truth
I
is.
feel like they're feeding into what they can see him do. I think they're trying to defeat him, making him look like a tyrant, and knowing that he's going to do this tyranny kind of thing. So they
But
probably
is he working according to the Constitution?
he's
Like,
not at this moment.
Well, then. it
He's
kinda
put out
is
a
tyranny.
speech that kind of says, "I know it's wrong, but it needs to
But-
be done."
What?
Kind
no.
of thing, you know. That's the summary of the. They sent him a court order saying he should. A court, whatever, saying he should suspend the guy. I don't know who sent it to. I didn't really read that information, and he said he was going to acknowledge it.
I'd like to find out more
and suspend
information
it.
and just see
I'd like
what.
to find out. But this is,
You know, he
he's
might have
sworn
done
in a
some
new
really
judge.
messed up stuff,
He's sworn in
so-
a new judge.
He did.
Yeah. And this, I think they said something about the guy who's just got suspended. They were supposed to appoint people that were going to be in charge of like the electorate votes and like voting or something like that. So there's something going on. I'm not 100% sure. Something going on.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can use this platform to speak about politics, please don't vote for Buhari. Please don't vote for Atiku. Please, for the sake
Then
of,
vote for who?
you know, someone else. I think anyone else is better.
No,
I
then,
mean-
then if you are telling them who not
Vote
to vote for, then
I was
don't-
going to say vote for Shore, but that guy at this point seems like he's just talking. Like, I don't think he's thought about the logistics. He wants to raise minimum wage to 100,000. He wants to legalize weed. He's saying the right thing to people like us, but
That's not fixing anything.
it's not fixing
did you guys
anything.
hear Obi Ezekwesili? She tried to withdraw. The lady.
She didn't? She tried?
She tried to withdraw.
What does that mean, she tried?
to withdraw from her presidential campaign, but they told her it was too late.
Wait, what?
Like,
How is this
huh?
too late?
I was like, what does
You
that
can
even
drop
mean?
off
I guess
anytime
she
now.
wanted to join with another. She wanted to
Oh.
John, that ticket.
another
So-
ticket.
I think what this guy should have done, because they did form that they are packed,
Mm-hmm.
and I think what they should have done was use that pact to go for smaller positions, in terms of like House of Rep, in terms of like Senate, in terms of like governors, because you'll have more power that way collectively than the president actually does. But now that they're all going for presidency, I don't think it's going to work. I did see Banky is doing something politics wise.
Yeah, well,
I haven't
giving some speech.
I haven't brought it up here just because I haven't followed it, and I'm not about to talk on something I don't know about. So, but it looks like he's trying. I mean, I see his brothers every time share his stuff, and I see people who know of him or are close to them also share it. And you know, I just haven't had time to listen to what he's saying. But I think he's trying to. I think the only clip I did see was when he was saying, I think he went to a church and was telling people that you need to know who your like House of Representatives are. You need to know, you know, like you guys can't just keep making it all about president and
Yeah, I
governor,
think I saw something.
which I
something
agree
about
with that part of. But as far as what he's running for, I really don't know. As far as everything else, I really don't know. But
Well, other African headlines. Andela is slated to, I guess, start $100 million funding round.
Who's Andela?
Andela, they're this. They're like a. They're like an HR company, they're like a resource company, like they're like a staffing company, company. Sorry, that's the
consulting
best.
company
That's the best
kind of
way.
way.
Yeah, staffing consultants, and
I have
they
nothing
take
to say on Andela.
they take they train people in Niger. They train them. Usually they'll give them somewhere to stay. They'll pretty much pay for all their training, like coding and all this
nice.
stuff.
That's good.
And it gives kids in Niger
Something to do,
opportunities,
right.
but they get these really, really smart engineers and developers. Like they end up developing these people, then they contract them out to firms
All over.
all over the globe at like dirt cheap.
Oh.
Yeah. Al Gore is one of the people that are backing it. I think Mark Zuckerberg too.
Yeah, Facebook gave them that 20 million
Oh,
investment.
that's good now.
I was
mean,
actually
So the kids get opportunities and stuff.
Yes,
to
yes, but
employment opportunities.
yeah. But there's also the whole aspect of getting cheap labor and all that. But I think it's still better than nothing.
But how long are the kids stuck there for?
I
Because
don't
then
know.
once you get
I
your
don't know.
opportunity, you can go anywhere.
I don't know, and that was why I was gonna get a friend of mine. I won't say his name yet, but he was supposed to be on here. He was supposed to be calling in today. He
does he
heads
work for them?
their he heads their New York division.
No, okay.
Yeah, so and he was gonna talk about it more, but he couldn't make it. I think he had to travel. So, but I'm hoping to get him back. very soon to talk about it
The idea
because I
sounds
want to
good.
know what it really means for us in Nigeria. $100 million is that's a good amount of.
Yeah. I mean,
cash.
the idea
Wale,
sounds good, but
what's going through your head?
Nothing.
so
Talk now.
talk.
Nothing.
The look on your face is like,
Come on.
Kudos to them, man.
No.
speak
Talk.
your
Talk.
mind,
Talk.
Mister.
Just kudos to Andela.
This is a safe space.
Kudos to Andela. I heard some shit about Andela.
I want to hear about it.
That.
I've not confirmed it.
But let's hear what the.
So it's not my place to put out there, but
What the world is saying.
I think they're using the people they staff out. I think it's not fair labor, from what I've heard. I think they're taking advantage of people. That 100 million,
Doesn't go to the kids.
it's not going to go to. From what I've heard, but I don't know. And the thing is, I know people who supposedly know of these people and they all say good things about them. I'm sure your guy will call and say good things, but what I've heard, because I'm a tech guy, and this is something I want to eventually. I thought about going into, which I probably might go into. So I just asked around, looked around, and I saw them when the Facebook did the thing. I said, hey, let me find out what's their model like. Let me find out how life is for them. And I'm sure your guy's gonna come here and tell us all the right things, and I might be wrong. I'm not expecting him to come and say, no, we take advantage of people and do all these things.
He also said that he had to consult with his media.
Exactly.
With his media
And,
head.
I don't know. It might just be someone who has bad blood that was feeding information my way. But
I'd like to find out more.
I would like to sit down with off one-on-one with someone who's really going to be truthful to me and just explain. But the thing is, they're not going to want to explain their business model too, because like I just said, I was trying to do something like that, still trying to do something.
But you will admit that it sounds promising.
No, the idea,
Yeah, the idea sounds great.
trust me, I'm going to do it, because the idea, I haven't heard of another hub in Nigeria outside of Lagos. I won't say where before they got tap into that market before me. But the idea is, the only thing about me is I'm very more on, if I don't want to cheat you.
Right.
And I'm not saying they're cheating people. I've just heard that it might not be the fair, like the money they make for the labor they're providing. There's probably a gap, a huge gap. If I make 100 million off from you, I would rather share it like 60-40 than 90-10.
Damn.
I don't know. It depends on what the business model
That's
is
just,
like.
but that's the thing about.
But
That's just
only
how
fair,
I
though.
see
Why
it.
am I using your brain power?
So
and
I don't
making
know.
money
I don't know
not
what
getting
their
any
model
benefit?
is.
Because what's the alternative?
I don't know what their model is, and they started it. So, and they're getting funding. Zuckerberg went to Nigeria when he did his whole Africa thing, and he gave them 20 million over, I think, 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it was like to train X amount of, I don't know the accountability in there. I don't know how they're going to prove they train this number of people. I don't know if it's going to cost that much
I
to
wish
train
I
this
could
number
get
of
that
people.
guy
I
in,
really don't know. But what I did here, and it's not just them, it's everywhere. It's just that I heard it's kind of like cheap labor. It's kind of like you have a middleman. That's consulting, basically. You have a middleman. Someone's paying this high amount of money. I mean, all their CEOs and heads are flexing, and the average Andela staff, I don't know if he's flexing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't really know the model.
No, but this guy, I know he's not that kind
so
of
that's
person. He's connected, but he's not like, he doesn't, he's not like over the top.
So that's why I
kind of
said,
thing.
like I
He's
said,
a
if
correct
I've
guy.
never met anyone from Mandela. They're the name that keeps coming up. I went on their website one day when that whole Facebook thing came up, and truthfully, this is literally like, I can say this to their face, I could not tell what they did.
Jeez.
That was the thing that was like, what's going on here? All I saw was, these are the guys that have endorsed us. These are the guys that use us. Okay, what do you do?
Yeah.
Even you to explain it, you're like,
Andela is not. They're not Nigerian though.
I don't know too.
I think they're an international company.
All I know is the Nigerian.
and I know they have strong
they're
ties in
coming
like
into
Kenya
Nigeria
and some.
to take
They've been in
advantage
Nigeria
of
They've
since.
been in Nigeria.
That's the only one
They've
I
been in
heard.
Nigeria, but I don't think it's owned by.
So I don't know.
Nigeria.
I don't. That's why I said.
I think
All I
it's
heard.
owned by.
I saw Facebook thing. I looked
I
around
don't
and said,
know
"Hey."
if I like that. You're
No,
not
no.
Nigerian. And a lot of those companies,
So
like
they have
Chinese
the
people are doing
hubs,
that now.
they have
coming
the-
in and taking advantage of our resources and
I
all
know.
that
So
power.
it's
and all
gonna
that.
hurt me
kinda-
more.
That's why
It's gonna hurt me
important to
more.
understand what
they
It's
do.
gonna
what
hurt me
this
more if
means.
they're not Nigerian. Because
they have
staff-
heads. They have
staff a
Nigerian
lot of
heads.
Nigerians, and it's good, dude. The business model behind it, or the idea behind it, Google would go to Andela, give me I need programmers.
Yeah.
I met some guy recently somewhere, and he was this older guy, and he was telling me how, maybe not Andela, but do you know Nigerian tech? It's a booming market. He was telling me how like
No, this is
companies
better. I like
companies are like, a lot of their resources, before it used to be India, now it's Nigeria,
Yeah,
it's
wow.
Africa, it's like we need to. There's a funny story about he was telling me about a big company. I won't say their name. They had a data breach, and one of their data servers was being hosted in Nigeria. And during the attack, NEPA took lights.
Damn.
And they were lucky because the hackers could not get into
the
the server because it was down. It was down.
Oh, gosh,
So, but
Nigeria.
what that told me was a lot of there are people like we see around driving Range Rovers and G-Wagons in Nigeria. We're thinking they're Yahoo boys. Again, these are young tech people
Kids.
making money. Consulting for like these big firms like on all sort of stuff because the labor is there. I just said maybe it's just me overthinking. Maybe if I do get into that business, my mindset would change. I just feel like
But
if
you
I'm
want to help
using
the
your
people, though.
That's
You
me.
don't wanna
I'm
take
not
advantage
doing
of
it
help
to
yourself
I want to
first.
help
I
you.
mean,
Yeah, but I'm
yeah,
not going
but-
into it because there's a
I get
yes.
it. I get it. But
That's the only thing I heard is like
there's
I
a
feel like
competing thing there.
I
where
feel like
it's
Andela will
you
pay
wanna
you
make money.
100,000 naira a month, or 150K. I don't know. This guy can clarify this thing, but this is what I heard. And then it's like, how much are you making
making?
off
Don't worry.
me?
Well,
You know?
I'll
Yeah.
try to get him on our
So,
next episode.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's really all I had on Nigerian and African news and updates. Should we go on a break now?
Yep.
No.
It's just been
I
30
think we
minutes
still have a few. Yeah, we still have a few minutes.
Like 10 more
What's
minutes.
been going on? I want to know what's been going on in you people's lives, man. So Wale, how's the new gig?
It's good. It's good.
Okay,
Why don't you start?
The 3rd of January. 4th, I think.
Congrats.
okay.
New Year, man. It's like
You work 9 to 5.
8 to 4.
You work remote too.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But you have,
eventually.
you'll be able to work from home and all that.
Yes, eventually.
I envy those that can work from home. I
I'm a
can't
tech
work.
guy.
I mean,
and
right,
I
so
love it.
it's-
Like, dude, this is how I go to work.
Really?
Lucky you.
The first day I wore it, like tie and everything. They were like looking at me like, like Alpha, man. You know, like you're a programmer, man. You don't need to do all that stuff. I was like, for real? Like, yeah, dude. Wear your hat. Wear your hoodie. You do all that.
Your boys knocked on Arsenal yesterday.
Oh
now.
yeah, we won. I watched it at work yesterday. I was so
oh,
excited.
really?
Yeah. I was like,
You get to watch football at
I
work.
get to listen to music.
You're
I get
jealous.
to watch.
That's what's up?
It's just because, like, as long as you're not distracted by,
Yeah.
as long as you can kind of find a thing. Like,
So it's like really laid back.
it's laid back. Only time I'm told to have to dress up, they would email me is if I have to present meet with
Yeah,
client,
like
which
a client.
I rarely have to do.
So what's up
Like
with
a
the
nice
what's up
guy.
with the move to Niger? That's not happening. You're gonna
No,
put
it's
that
gonna
on hold.
happen.
For, okay, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen when I just gave away on one of my ideas, but it was like this, this quote unquote Andela kind of idea.
Yeah.
Because I remembered, and this was what even made me just rethink it again. And because I was working on a project, so where I work, they're starting a new team, so I have my boss is the CEO.
Okay.
So I'm actually like my own, and they're expanding to different because they used to outsource all their programming.
Okay.
So they're trying to bring it in-house. So because I'm working on this project, they needed to outsource something else just to make a simple login page with an app that shows like user profile and for a client. And I overheard that the quote from the company doing it was 20 stacks just for you log in and you show a page.
Wow.
And I was thinking, dang. Do you understand?
I mean that stuff you do in your sleep.
That's how I do in my sleep. So why don't I
Do it.
do it?
Right.
And I did think I need cheap labor, obviously. So I thought, Nigeria. And I hit one of my boys who's actually a consultant, tech consultant. I said, bro,
your mind was
let's go to Nigeria, get this staff. And that's when Andela actually came up again. And we both seem to have heard the same thing about how it's the same model they have. But we just kind of said, I don't want to take that much money from people. Because if I'm making 500 stacks a year or $1 million a year from making apps, at least the majority of that I feel would want to go back to these people that are, because that's just how I feel. Maybe when I start,
good
I'll be
guy,
like,
yeah,
F
good
that,
guy.
do you understand?
100%.
And I
It's
think that's just where
integrity, yeah.
my mindset came. I was like, I feel this
Integrity.
guy. So that's just me. And the
Integrity,
thing is like,
integrity.
I'm blessed where I'm not suffering right now. I have a
Right.
good paying job, so I'm not thinking money. Like, I'm not thinking of using that money. Like, if we start next year, I need all that money to come back to
Back
me.
to you,
No,
right.
so understand. So it's like I can kind of afford that wiggle room. But yeah, so it's like 20 stacks for a 2-page thing. Like, God, I'll do that shit if I sleep. So this year, hopefully, I'll make the move. Not move, I'll go for a little while. Scout
yeah.
Let's see.
this new hub I heard about outside of Lagos. I'll check it out. see if they're really up to stacks. Because
I'm still trying to go this year, Shat.
I will. It'll be a
I'm still
random
trying to
trip.
but
Sometime during the year, randomly, just randomly during the year. Once you see me, once I tell I can't make it for like 2 episodes, just know that I've gone.
How about Yeti? How about you, man? What's been going on with you?
Nothing. Work.
Work. Same old same.
Same old. I'm going to Vegas in April.
April.
Yeah, April.
For what?
Second week. Backstreet Boys reunion.
Oh my god! Wait, don't they perform in Vegas like every weekend?
I think they have a residency thing. Yeah. So
They're giving out these residencies like pure water.
nothing,
Cardi B got a residency too.
Mm-hmm.
For real?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Drake got a residency. I'm sure his is like
I mean,
some
it makes
serious.
money
Yeah,
for
but
the
how
people. So why
how
not?
frequent is Drake?
I think he's gonna be there for like a season.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For like, but each year. And it's like a 5-year deal or something like
Oh,
that.
wow.
Cardi got a
so much
residency.
money.
There were some rappers that I heard of that had residencies. I was like, huh?
It's
Rappers?
making
That
money
one,
for
yeah.
them now. I mean, the person who I don't want to say started, but the person who I knew was famous with was Celine Dion.
Celine Dion.
Celine
yeah.
Dion,
Yeah, she was
Madonna
like the
once
OG.
had.
Yeah, she's
Britney
she's
Spears
the
too
OG,
had at one point.
Yeah, but the OG was Celine.
Celine is the
Like,
OG,
she had it for a
yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
a
So
long time.
you know what hotel you're staying at?
Yeah, Waldorf Astoria.
Oh, nice.
Okay. See how she said it.
Really?
She was waiting for it. Are you sure she didn't text you say ask me what
so
hotel am I staying in?
are you going with your
My
your boyfriend?
No, he doesn't care for Backstreet Boys.
Oh,
I'm
the
going with
who?
my girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who? Our
No,
girls?
no.
Oh, okay, someone else.
My best friend, Bisola and Marin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Nice.
trying to go, Corey?
Nice.
Are you
I
trying to-
would go if I could.
I
I
think
would go
4
if I
days?
could. I love Backstreet
I
Boys
love
now.
Backstreet
Yep.
Boys, but
I
you
think
guys
we're
I
are
staying
love,
for-
you know
Four-
that I grew
Yeah,
up on
exactly.
Backstreet
My
Boys,
first
man.
concert
I know,
ever
Corey,
was
don't like
Backstreet
used to
Boys.
sing.
Of course,
I want
now
it that way
that's
to
not
Biz.
a shameful
I
thing.
fuck with Backstreet Boys.
Why not? Shoot. Yeah,
Them-
so we're
like
going.
them
one,
album.
Them
two.
and Westlife. Eh?
I fuck with Westlife too. Show me.
There you go. Shut up.
a
man.
That's
billion.
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, I thought you said
he
Westlife.
sang
No,
he said them and
Backstreet
Westlife,
Boys.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to
Tell
I had their
me
album,
why
the one that had
I had every album.
Black and
Blue, everything.
Black and Blue, the one that had a call on there.
Yeah, the new one.
I
Anyway,
Baby, I'm
everything.
sorry.
Yeah, don't worry.
Sorry.
That's the same one that had
Don't stay up and
That's the
wait
same one that had
for
"Shape of My
me.
Heart" on
Yep,
it.
yep.
That was the jam,
Shape of
man.
My Heart.
Yo, shit, I was a
I even like their new
My
single.
heart.
I
Yeah,
heard it.
yeah,
It's a
I
single.
just
I like
got
the
it, so-
video. They you see them. They're all dads now. They're all
they
grown
are.
up.
They're old people now.
Gosh,
Backstreet
I'm
Boys.
old, man.
Jeez.
No, I'm actually not that old. I'm only in my late 20s.
You wish, but anyway. So yeah, so we'll be there for I think 4 days. I think.
Nice,
Yeah, so
nice.
we'll get to
Me,
see
I've
them.
been kind of going through it, man. There's a lot that's been going on in my house lately. My uncle, right? He's around, and he had like surgery.
Oh, is he
And they-
okay?
He's okay. He used to be a huge smoker, so he
Oh.
came here for like his checkups, and they found like this huge
Oh,
something in his lungs, and they had to
Jeez.
take off a
Take it
chunk
out.
of it. So now he's, it was successful. Everything is
That's
good. They bring him home, but then he has these panic attacks, like where he feels like he can't breathe.
mm-hmm.
But it's really more in his head.
Right.
But it's affecting his
yeah,
the
that happens.
of the lungs. And yeah, so it's been crazy, man. We've had to rush him to the ER a few times, but
But
he's
there's
doing
nothing
good now.
wrong physically, but
There's nothing wrong physically.
it's a
But I'm still thankful that at least he's, like when I went to go check up on him, we sat down, we're just gisting. You know what it's like to gist with like an old school Naija guy, man. That's what it was like. My uncle, man, he's something else. He is something else. I even at the hospital, this guy is in the 70s. Barely with half a lung, and he's still hitting on the nurse. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is something else. But yeah, he's an interesting guy.
I forgot. I'm also going to what's this place? Tanzania in May.
Really?
Yep. We're gonna do the
Nice.
Serengeti and all that stuff.
Nice.
So
I might be going to LA for a friend's birthday in May also.
Okay.
okay, so
I've never been to California yet,
Really?
So, nah, never been out
I've
west.
been.
The furthest
I've
I've been
been.
is Houston.
That's the furthest you've been.
Out
Have you been to New York?
out
West.
furthest
Oh,
out
okay.
west. Towards the west coast.
You've never been to Atlanta?
That's
my
East
God.
Coast now, correct? Or that's actually
It's not
technically
really
south.
East Coast. It's
I said the
meant
furthest I've been
West
towards the
that
west
side.
coast.
Is what?
It's Houston,
Texas.
Okay.
Texas.
Are you listening?
Hey, I'm listening. But
You
Texas is not really.
But Texas is west from here.
Okay, fair.
Do you understand?
Fair.
Yes. I
So
said.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Everything good? Sorry.
It's true.
So I think we're due for a break.
Yep.
All right, break song. I didn't even introduce it yet. It's called African Woman by Wonder Banton. Yeah.
Welcome back.
That's African Woman by Wonder Banton. Check him out. You know, I always be discovering music randomly. I actually found out about this song like months ago, but I just never played it.
All right. So what's next on the Okay, yeah.
The docket.
Hold on. Yeah, go on.
Go on, what?
Oh,
No,
did you
it's not
guys
that.
watch the
Not that one.
Fire Fest
Oh, yeah.
documentary?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my
I didn't see the
God.
Hulu one yet. But
I
I
didn't
saw
see
the
the Hulu
Netflix
one
one.
yet too, but god damn, like what the hell? So many things that went wrong in that.
First
thing,
of all,
man.
Ja Rule is greedy.
Ja Rule.
At first, I was like, Ja Rule is dumb.
He is.
No. At the end, when he said, "This isn't fraud.
It was
This is just false advertising," I was like, "Okay, this guy's not dumb. He knows what he was doing."
But I'm
was
surprised he
greedy.
didn't. He was. I'm
That's just
surprised
what
he
it
didn't
was.
get caught in the whole
No.
legal part of it.
It was because everyone could just see that he was just stupid. Like, it wasn't. It's the same. I mean, if you're bringing Ja Rule into the legal part, then you're going to bring all those Instagram models into the legal part. You're going to
But
bring.
they're suing them.
You're going to bring the companies
Yeah.
into
Yes.
the
The-
marketing companies.
well-
You're going to bring all those people. You're going to bring the staff. You're going to bring, because they're not suing them because the show got canceled. They're suing it because they sued them, and that guy went to prison because he falsely he made fraudulent documents
Yeah.
saying
How much they were
How much-
making
Oh yeah,
and
so
all
you
that,
guys
yeah.
need to take it from the top, because you guys didn't explain what happened. Not everyone has seen this
No, but
thing.
people heard about
Yeah, but you have to give them some
fire
context.
for the longest time. So this happened
Okay.
in 2017, right?
Yeah, let's
So
slowly explain
basically, what
happens.
happened was this dude. What was his name again? Jeff something.
Billy.
So there's this white guy.
Billy McFarland.
McFarland.
There's
Yeah.
this white guy who seems to have this pipe dream that he can rule the world.
Create-
He can create anything and just rule the world.
He's a young guy
He's a
too.
young guy.
Early 30s. He's
Yeah,
a
he
millennial,
just
sha.
wants to feel like. So he came up with this idea of, let's do the Coachella of.
Rich people Coachella.
Rich people Coachella.
Basically.
Yep.
And
Rich people Coachella. It was supposed to be like a luxury
Resort
music
kinda.
festival. So think of
Coachella,
Coachella.
but
but
on a resort,
on a
with
resort.
luxury stuff.
And
VIP
the idea
staff.
behind
Initially,
this-
he promised that it was going to be a private island
Private
that was
island,
once
yes.
owned by Pablo
so
Escobar.
the
He
idea
was selling
behind
this
the
thing.
idea behind it was he woke and you know,
It's a good idea.
Ideas
the
come.
execution was poor.
And this is where
That's
you know
it.
things. Some people you might have an idea for something and it goes south, but he had a good idea.
It was
but
a good idea.
It wasn't viable. And
Terribly.
you know, and this is when I knew that guy had a problem, was when the other guy, the pilot guy, was the guy that was telling him, look, where are we gonna sleep these people
Right.
on the island? And he's like, we'll make it work. And I was telling him, okay, why don't we rest?
Try
why don't
out
we
something first.
try something else? And he didn't want it here. And he doesn't want to think of logistics. Only just
Right.
do this and
That's
do
it.
it. That's
Right.
it. So anyways, he thought, I'm going to have this party festival weekend. I'm going to bring Major Lazer. I saw Skepta on
Blink
the bill.
182.
Blink 182.
See, I blame the anyway.
He
Let's
brought
continue.
a lot of people.
He got
That
investors.
nobody's
He got some
anymore,
though.
investors
Investors.
to pull out of Coachella.
Investors were like, yeah, they were asking him to pull
And
out
to
of
invest
Coachella
in
and
him.
invest in him. But you see, that was why there was a fraud, because he was now lying to those investors about how much
They were making.
how
Yes.
much they were going to make, and how much he himself.
He claimed to have bought this private island.
Yep.
First, we didn't buy.
He didn't buy it. He was supposed to have put down a deposit.
He didn't put it.
The person that was going to sell him the island
So
told him that
don't
do not
mention
mention
Escobar
Pablo
name.
Escobar.
Escobar.
I'm trying
And
to sell
that
this
was
thing.
his selling point.
That was what he used to sell it.
And
Because
the
you
guy
have
took it
these
away
kids-
from him. They're like, no.
Yeah, because you
Yes.
have these kids who are like, it's the same way you have kids who go to Colombia and be taking pictures on Escobar's grave. I'm like, you know that
He-
people in Colombia
Are suffering.
they suffer from this
'Cause
guy.
of this
But,
He
guy.
was selling tickets.
but that was his selling point.
He was selling tickets, right? But how no, but his main selling point. You remember models?
models,
Right.
yeah.
So you use
he
all
brought-
those IG
he
models,
brought
and that's
actual
why-
real
models.
models.
Okay, so
right.
first
Bella
of all,
Hadid,
okay, first
a
of all,
bunch of
first of
them.
all, Fire is actually supposed to be an app.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Fire, and that was the idea, and the idea behind the app is
It's
actually
actually a pretty good idea.
Well,
He
I'm
has
not
good
gonna lie, that guy
ideas.
has a good idea, but
It's
his
just execution was just
the idea
not
behind
there.
the app was if you want to book your favorite artist for a private gig,
Yes.
you don't have to go through all this
You come through
channels. You
us.
just come through the app,
and we'll
and
make it
you
happen.
see their calendars when it's free, and you can easily send them a message saying, "Hey, here's I hope I didn't pick that up. But yeah, here's what I have to do, and how much it's gonna cost." And what ended up happening was to promote that app, he wanted to do the festival.
Right.
Now they said the idea came on when he tried to book Ja Rule for the show. And Ja Rule, I think the booking process was negotiating and stuff like that. It was a huge hassle. Now somehow they got the show to work or whatever, and they decided let's partner with each other. First of all, I'm not really sure why you picked Ja Rule.
Of all people. What?
Ja Rule, I think the only thing is because he felt like it had small of a name, and Ja Rule, being where he is in life right now, might be more willing to do
work,
this than
right.
any
A bigger
other
person.
a bigger person. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, who else can we get? So, anyways, and Ja Rule is like, he's excited obviously because this guy sold him this dream where Ja Rule is like,
Gonna make
what's
money
this?
and all that.
We live like movie stars, we party like rock stars, and we
Yep.
fuck like porn stars.
Yep.
That was what was in Ja Rule's head.
Ja Rule was also at the photo shoot. He
Yeah.
was trying to get
Everything,
the girl.
But
like,
Ja
how
Rule
is it?
messed up
In the
by
water.
telling Chanel, what's her name, Iman or whatever, get the fuck in the water. Like he cursed
Yeah,
her. and,
yeah.
Her face was like, what? But obviously she was being paid, so she kind of just took that L.
They paid these girls.
They paid them a lot.
They paid Kylie Jenner.
They paid Kylie Jenner.
And I
300
think
stacks.
that was the last. That was like the last thing that
300
they
stacks.
used to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
250K, right? They paid her to post
To post
about
it.
this
Just to post
festival.
on
And
Instagram.
the minute
That's
that
it.
happened, the thing spread like wildfire.
So this
These
is what they
videos
did.
of all these girls on
They
this
took-
private
they took-
island.
They took
They took about 60
so what happened
models
is,
to the island
so
to
yes.
shoot a video. And that's all. That's all.
Yep.
That's what sold.
They were
the-
selling the lifestyle.
That's how. That's
So,
what.
yeah,
sold
that's
It
it.
what,
wasn't
that's
the
what
same
you-
beach they were gonna end up at.
Of course not.
No, but it wasn't. Let's clear from the start. Sorry, it wasn't like he planned to scam people.
Yeah, yeah.
He really did want to
He
do
wanted
this
to get
thing.
it done.
But he didn't think it through. He didn't think about food. He didn't think about accommodation.
He didn't think of
about anything.
anything.
Island, I've not even paid for the island, but he knew how to promote that
Promote.
stuff.
Yep,
And,
yep.
and unfortunately, this is where people are gullible because like you can't just. You have to do your research.
Right.
There were websites that were speaking against him.
Against it.
And
And
found
they
out that he had used a fake,
A fake, crop,
Yeah.
a fake crop
And
of
it's
an
like-
the
island.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to. And then you see the pictures they were showing people of what they booked for. It was just drawings. It wasn't even real life picture.
Yo, it was
like,
a
oh, you're
scam.
gonna get
It was a
this
scam of life.
private cabana,
Scam of
and
life.
the private cabana wasn't even a real picture.
It wasn't. They were selling packages to influencers
Yeah,
for free. They
for
were saying they were
free.
gonna have their their villas.
just post it. And what ended up happening was,
That guy pulled out. The Pablo Escobar island guy, the one that was
Yeah.
going to sell the island,
Pulled
he
out.
pulled out.
Yep.
So they started looking for
For
new
another
islands.
island.
Yep.
Then they'll go to the next island and nothing will.
Nothing.
Finally, they ended
Found
up
something.
on this island called what was it?
Exuma.
it was a
Exuma.
land, just empty land.
Just pretty much.
And then, you know what? I see God worked in mysterious ways. Because I'll tell you something, he thought he was going to get away with it when he finally got those hurricane, something
Yeah,
shelter
the FEMA,
set up.
the FEMA
Here-
shelters. Yep.
And then it rained that night.
Yep. See,
Yo,
hard work.
It
but tell
rained
me
that
why.
night.
Tell
The
me
funny
why.
thing is-
It was also the same. He set it up on the same weekend that there
He
was
didn't
a
know. He
festival.
didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't
He
know.
didn't
He
know
didn't
now.
do his
He didn't do
research.
research.
He didn't
He
do
didn't do it.
anything.
See, this is what I think happened.
He didn't do it.
Somebody
And
probably took him to that island one time. I was like, oh, it'd be a nice idea to have a party here. And then, you see,
keep in mind, people had already booked
the
this
real
thing.
party.
I think it was like 95%.
Yeah, the
booked.
real party,
Yeah.
like one of the guys said, was the models and him.
Yep,
That was the
that
real
was the
experience.
real
This is
experience.
what he should have done. Started off with like 500 people.
And that's it.
Then scale up. Don't look for profits. in
He
like
did
your
it for how
first
many
few-
people? Like 6,000, like 5,000 people, something like
A
that.
couple thousand people.
He had beds for only about 350 people,
Yep.
and they were hurricane. Wait, is it hurricane or hurricane? I always forget.
Hurricane.
They were hurricane tents.
Yeah,
Hurricane.
FEMA.
He
They were
so-
actual.
yes.
You can still see the FEMA.
The one
stickers
from the
on
last
them.
time. From the
Yeah.
last time they had a
Hurricane.
hurricane.
Yeah,
in-
disaster
in-
relief
in,
shelters. Basically, is what it was.
what was that,
But
Barbados?
they sold it as like these suites. They called it, I forgot what they called it, something suites or
called it
something.
something.
And
It
they
was just mattress.
They just put mattress in the thing.
And
They
you know,
weren't
I
ready.
was
Everybody
dying
was
through
They
telling
weren't
the
ready.
whole
The
thing.
organizers were freaking out. They kept saying,
they
"Look, we're
told
not
one of the
ready.
guys to go
We're
to
not
Whenever-
this. We're not that."
whenever-
He told one of the guys to
anybody-
perform oral sex.
Okay, so
yes,
like
that
we'll
was
get there.
crazy.
So whenever somebody brought up an like objection or something, he will
He'll-
fire them,
They will
Go
fire
fire
them.
them.
and then he'll tell somebody else, "You go find this."
Then
gun."
he
like,
will
what?
leave and come back with like another $1 million.
He
Yep.
just kept.
But
finding
here's the
money.
thing: the budget they gave him was like $30-something million.
Yep.
But yeah, coming back with 1 million here, 500
Yes.
here. He was like, okay, let's tell them to pre-load their bracelets with money.
Yes.
And then those dumb kids too went to
Dumb
preload
kids.
600,000 worth.
I
dollars
swear,
worth
yo.
of money.
Imagine.
Yo,
On
this
So,
guy
an
man,
island
a
that
fool with his
there's no
money,
Wi-Fi
I'm
itself, so they
sorry.
don't know if it was going to work.
Ah.
You know.
A fool and his money are soon to be
You
parted.
know,
man. That was what happened.
But I'm glad he
For
went to
real,
jail. He went to
real.
jail for
Yeah,
6 years. You know, and I'm glad.
But we'll still hear about him. It's
Jaru,
coming back.
you know,
No, Jaru made one comment on the special. What did he say again? Where he said something along the lines
It
of
wasn't
he was
false.
like,
It wasn't fraud, it was false
it
advertising.
wasn't fraud. It was false
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
if
advertising.
Yeah.
It was false
Like-
advertising. He said if Samsung can get away with blowing people's
Faces
faces
up.
off, he can
They
get
still
away.
said
And that's
false.
when I knew that Jaru wasn't stupid. It was just
Yeah,
greedy.
he was.
And you know, Yeti asked why isn't he not involved legally, and I said Jaru can't be involved because Jaru wasn't the one who presented fake fraudulent.
that's
That guy
true.
didn't go to jail because of
He did
the
it all.
fake.
The guy also happened to
He
have
only
a
went to
credit
jail.
card company,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Magnesis
and
in
he
the
was
beginning.
using-
That's how that
And
started.
then
That's
he
how
was-
the whole
yes,
thing
yeah.
started.
And he was using the money in
the
there.
investors and everything. That's
to
how
pay
people
for this
knew
thing.
about
But
him.
do you know what Magnesis is? That's how people are dumb. It's just them rebranding your credit card for you to look like a nice black card.
Pretty much a
And
metal black card.
black card.
The
Black
guy
card.
is a scammer.
He
He's a
And then
beast.
After
and
he
then
got out,
when he
he
finished, he
still
was still
tried to
scamming.
scam.
He was doing Fred. I mean, what that
I'm
guy's
telling
name?
you, man.
He was selling fake Beyonce tickets. He was selling. And you,
And they
but you know
still
the
use
funny
the same
thing.
list,
He's
the
not going to
guest
jail.
While he was
but
out
you know
on
the
bail,
funny
he was
thing
still
is
trying
that
to scam
I don't
people.
all those. You know that he would. I think he would have got away with it. If he
If
just
not for
didn't,
those
if it
meddling
wasn't,
kids.
if it wasn't for the investors that he defrauded,
Right.
because first of all he couldn't cancel because he claimed they had like if he cancels they have to pay money back. He didn't
But
have
he didn't even
festival
have insurance.
You know, he didn't do
Like,
all that
he
stuff.
They didn't have
do the
festival
right
insurance.
things. Come
The night
on.
the festival was supposed to start, some people arrived. Right?
Arrived, yeah.
They arrived. First of all, they were told that they were going to be on private jets.
They
Fly them into the island.
They flew in some
These people arrived in a Boeing 747
from like 2000
from like the one of the
1985
oldest.
self,
I think it was that country's oldest.
they now rebranded and painted Fire Festival.
Fire Festival. They showed the people
You see, and
the
that's
clients.
this is how dumb people are. I won't get on that plane.
So
Exactly.
No,
Like
when they
no,
got
no.
on the
I wouldn't
plane,
even buy.
they were like, "This is worse than
you know
economy."
that-
Yeah, it's worse than economy.
You guys.
God,
You know
it
that
was-
nobody
it was
else
hilarious.
advertised the festival. The artist didn't.
No, they didn't.
Nobody
After
did
a while, they
anything.
pulled out
You
because
should've
apparently
looked into all
they had
that.
said they had paid almost twice the
The
artist's
amount,
rate.
yeah, they said
And even
artist
they
money
were like
was
wondering,
was like 3 million.
Right? Can you imagine?
But
And
of course,
I'm
they never
sorry,
got paid.
The artists that they're coming,
Yeah, they never
Blink-182.
got paid, yeah.
Who wants to see Blink-182? I'm
I
sorry,
don't know, but
Blink-182
actually
fans and
some
stuff.
it was like Major
who?
Lazer was there.
But you know they were also
Please.
they were also selling that lifestyle.
I
Pablo
guess.
Escobar's island. They even had like the planes
But
that
you see,
so
the
you know
only
those
good
planes that they used
the
to use
little
for
planes, yeah.
for drug news or
Oh,
whatever.
true. They used
They
that. I
had
know.
them
That was the
there.
plane they thought they were going to fly in. But you see, people
Yes.
did not think about the whole logistics. You see, I'm pretty sure there was no Nigerian in that
Of
place.
course not.
Because well, I first of all thought about it and said, guy, wait, this thing does not add up.
When they got
And
there,
then
so it
And then you
rained.
see go pictures first.
they started asking questions and like they start deleting
They had
comments on
websites
Instagram.
dedicated that this
Yeah.
thing is a fraud. They kept saying this thing is a fraud. People.
You do your research. Come on.
On the night of the concert, it rained. So they arrived in this Boeing 747. They were still wondering what's going on. So they directed them because it wasn't ready.
Yeah,
They
nothing
weren't
was
ready.
They were
The
working
beds
last
inside this
minute.
thing were still wet from the rain that night, right? So they sent them to this lady's restaurant.
That poor woman.
Ah.
I felt so bad for
But
her.
she's good now.
She's good. She did it
They
for
raised-
GoFundMe.
They sent
people
they
raised
sent
money
them
for her.
to that lady's restaurant. They had them drinking. They were still
They were
enjoying. They were
partying,
thinking this is like the
tequila out
pre
and
before we get
everything.
into the.
Yep.
The driver had stayed
Been telling them.
snitching on them that you guys You guys, you don't know what you're about to walk into right now.
This is the place.
You guy kept saying.
I wonder if they
You
got their
guys-
money back.
You guy kept saying.
The people who paid.
That guy was.
No,
They
That
they're
guy was
suing.
snitching.
They're
Suing for
doing
what?
they have a class
But
action suit right now.
takes a long
They
time.
don't get that. They didn't get shit back.
They're not gonna. It takes a long time for that
Yeah,
to even
but
work.
they didn't get anything
It
back
might
yet.
not even.
Probably won't get anything
They
back.
probably won't
but
get anything back. And that's why I said I think he'll have got away with it because he'll have just spent years in and out of court.
Yeah.
But
that would
just
have been it. It's the
you can't
fraudulent
be
activity.
yeah, the fraudulent activity that's criminal.
That day
that
is
one.
the
And
real
that's
white
where
privilege.
that is
You're
where
out on bail.
you're out on
And you
bail, yeah.
still.
But that was
I'll be
where
joking, by the way.
Jaru was not able to get involved,
involved,
because
right,
the
right.
thing
It
is
was
if you
only
get
him.
Jaru
That's
involved, you have to get every single person that
Involved
worked, that
too.
woman that is
But I
scammed,
felt so
the
bad for the
models.
employees.
But I'm
yeah.
glad that they took a lawsuit on the models.
Yeah,
Not
yep,
the
yep.
reason is because it has now forced them, and
Yeah.
that's another thing I was
FCC
saying.
made it a thing.
That's
now.
why I was telling you about this false
You're
advertising
responsible
thing.
for-
You not have to
for
say
what you
Ad.
advertise,
paid
man.
ad.
Yep,
Do
yep.
you understand? And
I'm
paid.
glad that happened.
That's
Yeah.
why
Yes.
even Diddy will posting Ciroc stuff. He'll write it there, paid ad
Yeah,
with
right,
Ciroc. You
yeah.
have to do it.
You have to. You have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on Netflix. I think they also have a one on.
one.
The one on Hulu, I don't want to watch it because the
It's
Billy
him
guy
talking, yeah.
got to talk in
He's
it,
the
and I
one
feel for the
talking.
fact that he's talking in it. Then
They probably didn't
There
show
was a guy
he's
that's.
probably, and he also told Netflix. They asked Netflix that why didn't. So Jaru came out and said Billy was paid to do the Hulu one, and everybody was like,
Probably
it's
it
a
looked
lie,
like
blah
it.
blah. But Netflix, they asked Netflix and said, why wasn't Billy on yours? And he said because he told them that somebody else was paying him 250 stacks
For another, so
to
Hulu's
do
paying
it.
him.
That was Hulu, and then they said no. Then he came back and said, okay, I'll do it for 125.
That guy's still trying to scam.
And he will be
He's
back.
still trying
When
to
he gets out
scam.
of prison, he
But
will
they
be
were
back.
like, but their story was they said nah.
He'll
nah,
be
they
back.
don't feel-
The dude, he's smart though. That's the thing. It's like you're so smart. Use your smarts for something.
He used to be on
good.
like Fox News, Fox
Like
Business.
he's a smart
He's a
kid.
smart guy, but
So you, I was just.
yeah.
and
he was
you
just
could-
thinking too.
And
too
he was
advanced.
coked out too, man. He was so
He
high
was,
on
he was,
some,
he was.
on some coke.
He
man.
said he
It
would
was-
just leave.
yeah, and come
And then
back all
come back
jacked up
all
and
jacked
everything.
up.
Man, he's going to do coke now.
Yes, now.
There
He
was,
ride
there,
his
was one,
bike.
there was one guy, one of the event coordinators, like the gay guy.
Oh.
That one.
I felt bad for that one.
that
too.
one. They told him. He called that guy. He said, "Look, what was his name again?
I don't
Billy.
know, he said-
No,
he
Andy.
said,
Andy.
I should've
You
told
are
him about this.
gay leader.
yes, we need you to go out there.
We need to go out there. We need this water. They needed water.
Yeah,
The
the
customs
customs are
officer
held. Like, no.
held up like.
But you see,
It
that
sounded like Niger.
No, but that's the thing. It tells you about impoverished countries because those guys were looking for a share. Now.
Yeah.
They didn't hold it because they were
Yeah.
like, oh, this is illegal. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you guys. pay
The
us.
customs officer wanted like 175K to
Yeah,
have
towards
their water.
They mentioned about the minister or something. Also wanted money.
Yeah,
A lot of people
and
wanted
somehow the only way they could release that water was by.
Sexual
Was
favors. Which
by-
that's not right though. If you
I don't
think
know if
about
they
it, that's
no,
sexual
no, no, no.
harassment.
But we haven't said what they did.
Oh, I mean, well, okay.
No, but those guys. Well, I'm curious. Did Billy just assume
That the guy was gay.
the guy was gay,
I
or did
guess.
they feel?
For those still wondering,
Conji just
basically
catching the guy.
he asked the Andy guy to go and
Give the head of
that
the
other
custom
guy-
guy.
Fellatio.
guys fellatio. Yes.
Yes.
You know they've started banning people on YouTube now, so we have to be really
And
careful
that
what
guy,
we say.
and that guy said he was down to do it.
Yeah, he
which
went. He was.
The
gonna
guy
take
said
one
he
for the
went
team.
home.
He went to
Showered,
shower, took some
mouthwash.
Took a
mouthwash.
mouthwash,
But I would
gargled,
feel,
and
I would
then was
assume
going.
you do that after. I guess. Why
No,
you-
I mean,
But it seemed that he didn't even give any resistance.
he didn't give any resistance. So
no,
it's-
no, no. But the thing is, he's been seeing how Billy has been
He's-
handling
I
everybody.
guess, and I
He's
guess
been
he
seeing
liked
him
Billy
firing
as like he
everybody.
wanted him to
He
just.
was his kid.
But anyway,
he's known him for a while. he
Yeah.
said.
he went to the guy's office and that guy was like, nah, G, we good. Like,
But I
you don't
felt bad
have to
for
give me
him
any
though,
favors.
because
Yeah.
imagine
Just
if
money
the
is
opposite, if it
also
was a
what I-
girl that your boss is telling you to go sleep with somebody for
Yeah,
this contract,
yeah,
it's
you know
sexual
how-
harassment.
you know
It's
how that's gonna
terrible.
end, you know.
But anyway. The
Anywho.
whole thing is just a fool, and its money was soon to part. Basically, those kids, I didn't feel bad
Yeah.
for those kids at all. I'm sorry, but
He didn't.
no, what?
You live and you learn.
No, man.
And
right?
if you have
that much money to
$6,000
blow
to spend
on
on,
festival, really?
Me that I went
Please.
to Made in America, and I'm still asking Whiskey to refund my money. After I saw Jay-Z and the rest of them, like, Whiskey,
Can you
you
imagine?
come out,
So
please.
you now be giving me
Come on.
somebody
Come and
put
refund my money.
$200,000 on the stupid chip. Did you see that part?
Yeah.
$200,000 on
But
the
people
bracelet.
don't know. It reminds me of I was in England for Olympics, and the travel card, the Oyster card, used to travel around. It's like it maxes out at like I think £8 something a day, and
Yeah.
so I went to put in like maybe $20 for like the week, and this foreigner behind me, or this German person, I think that was the first time in London, put in like $1,000 or
Wow.
$500, something high, and I was like, guy, you know this thing is not no matter how much you travel. But you know, sometimes they don't know. They have the money and they don't care. So it's like, okay, I'll go to the island, 200K on my bracelet. We're going to spend 200,000 worth on an island that I don't know. You know.
I mean, so they have money to blow.
They have money to blow.
What
yeah.
else happened, guys? Any other current events want to touch on? You guys want to touch on the MAGA hat kids and the Native American vet? I'm already kind of sick of that.
I'm tired of it. Yeah.
I'm over it. I'm over it. But what was your take though? I'm curious. I can already kind of guess what your take was.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
No,
I can
my
guess.
take was- The only thing I had an issue with what the kids were there for in the first place, the anti-abortion
For March
rally.
for Life, yeah.
I don't agree.
You're
with
already
that.
against that already.
Right. So and then the MAGA hats. I'm sorry. Whatever. When you wear a MAGA hat, you're calling attention on yourself, and whatever you get, I'm sorry. You get.
But
So I blame their
there's
parents.
something
though.
called
Why
the
would
law,
you,
though.
Kanye Beck.
No.
Something
I'm
called the
saying
law.
the kids' parents. Why would you send your kids out in DC in MAGA hats?
It's a march.
know-
It's a political rally.
Yeah, I agree. But anything that happens, I guess, can happen.
No,
What do you mean, no?
You're allowed to express your.
Yeah.
You're allowed
Yes,
to express
that's like
yourself
saying,
freely.
Okay, but it's equivalent of saying you're
If
wearing a hood.
if someone wore,
of a
if someone
KKK
wore an
hood.
Obama Hope shirt to
That's
a
not the
political
same.
rally,
Correct.
it's
not
the same thing. Half the country are Trump supporters. What are you supposed to do?
Really, correct.
Yes, they wear MAGA
What
hats. Deal
MAGA
with
hat
it.
signifies right now
It
in
doesn't
this
matter
country
what it
is
signifies to you.
equivalent
You
of
cannot
a
invade
KKK
someone's
hood.
space.
Please.
You can't. Unfortunately, you can't use moral to rule the land.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
the
I
rule
agree
of the
with
law
that.
does
right.
not have anything
Against
you
it,
wearing
right?
MAGA hat.
But the rule, people don't care about the rule of law. What somebody does to you when you're wearing a MAGA hat, you're gonna have to take consequences.
And you that you
That
did,
doesn't mean
but
it's-
you that you
No.
did something.
So you're saying
You
the
go to prison,
consequences,
right? You
so,
go to
so
right,
you're,
but
so you're saying the
both everything
consequences
That they
has-
faced where they got doxxed, they got these death threats.
They
You're
did?
saying
See, I
that they
didn't know
deserve
that.
that. Yeah, all that happened now. They had to shut down their school.
But those kids, though, now looking into the past and all the stuff they've done, they're racist white kids. I'm sorry.
Why?
Did you see?
Says who?
Did you see the past basketball game that they had where they were
What basketball
blackface? They were playing against. You didn't see that? I'm gonna find
What?
a picture. They had a
These
basketball game.
Covington kids.
Yes, it's in Kentucky.
But is it the same ones that were?
This the school's culture.
Please, can you
That's
pull
what
that
it
up?
is.
Can you pull that up? Because I didn't hear that.
You
I
They-
know
didn't see
people.
that?
They're
I know
a ca-
people
they're-
brought
it's
up
a
the
Catholic
school. I know
school.
people said
And
the
now,
school
yeah,
has.
so
Okay,
Shit.
okay, then
Oh,
pull
no,
it
yeah,
up, pull it
I
up.
know
Let me
people
see.
brought
It's the
up
same
the
Covenant kids that wore
yes,
blackface.
yes,
Pull
they
it
had
up.
a football.
The
They had a
school- I know
basketball
somebody
game.
was talking
Pull it
about
up.
the school having. I didn't have a problem with this one, but people were talking about the school having all male,
I mean,
all white staff.
Pull it up.
But I really don't have a problem with that. Man,
Look
it
at
is
this.
What it is.
What about it?
what do you mean? What about it?
Yeah.
You see blackface and see how they're joining the
Yeah,
black
but
kid.
what school is this?
That's
Like,
the school.
what's the context?
What do
Can
you mean,
I
what's
read
the
the context?
context?
Can I read the stuff? Let me see. No, I'm seeing. I'm just. Oh, you're just
What?
showing me a picture. What does this mean?
That's the kids in the school. That's
What
a
does
black
it, yeah, but
player.
is it the same kid? Wait, to all those who defended those poor, who posted this?
Doesn't matter. Let me
Yes,
find-
it matters.
How
Like,
does it matter?
You're just showing me a tweet.
No.
I
I'm
don't-
not showing you a tweet.
I'm
I'm
not-
showing you a picture. I don't
Okay.
care about who tweeted
Where
it.
is
That's
the article?
first
Like, if
picture.
there's an article that says
Yeah, it
these
came-
are these
can
kids.
you get my phone?
Okay.
It came from the
Be careful
school.
with fake news. Though,
No,
you
it's
see.
not a fake news. It came from the school's.
Because
Can
from what I
speak?
understand, okay.
It came from the school's message board.
Yeah.
People were posting this picture
Let
of
me.
back in when
Where
it
is
happened.
the article? There's a lot of fake news on the internet. You have to be careful.
No.
with how you-
It's from
Look,
their school's message board.
I haven't seen any of that on the news. I haven't seen any of this
And
on the news.
that won't make
what
the
what
news
I've
now.
seen on the
What?
news is this, right? What I've seen on the news is this. What I've heard is that the Native American, it turned out that he wasn't really a Vietnam vet like he claimed he was.
Oh, he wasn't.
Yes, no, he wasn't.
Okay.
So they said that he embellished the story a little bit. Another thing that happened was I watched the whole video,
Mm-hmm.
and when you look at the full context of the video, you know what happened? It was these black Israelites that were cursing
Well,
these kids
see,
out.
that part ain't like.
Black
that
Israelites
was
were cursing
wrong.
these kids
right.
out.
Black
The
Israelites
kids-
and non-entities doing the black community. We don't care about them.
Yeah,
either,
but
anyway,
they all this
continue.
is the same. You know what I liked about this whole thing? I think it was a testament to the freedom of speech we have. Even as despicable as what those black Israelites was as despicable as the things those black Israelites were saying, they still had every right to do
to say
that.
whatever you want to say,
And-
right?
and
Freedom
that's
of
and
speech.
it's the
But freedom
same
of
right.
speech
Let me
does not mean
finish. Let me
freedom of
finish.
consequences.
But let me finish. It's the same right that those kids have to wear whatever MAGA hat they want to wear.
Right.
It's the
Which
same
is why I
rights that the
said
native
any consequences you
native-
you get.
It's the same right that but there's still something called the law. You can't have it both ways. Are you saying you should have a
freedom of speech only. You know that freedom of speech only applies to the government, right? The government can't imprison you for your speech. That's what freedom of speech applies to.
Yeah, no.
You
but
can
yeah,
say whatever you want, but that
Yeah,
doesn't mean
yeah.
your
But
job
you're
can
trying
fire
to-
you.
you're-
Someone can
yes,
punch you in the face.
fair.
That's
Yeah, but,
right.
but-
Consequences.
But
are still
none of what those
consequences.
things led to that, or should have led to that. You wearing a MAGA hat should not.
You can't
should
tell
not
somebody
mean,
had to react to your
you
speech.
wearing a MAGA
though.
hat should not
Correct.
mean you should get fired. Is that what you're saying?
No. Your job can fire you. You know that.
For wearing a MAGA hat?
Yes, freedom of speech only
in
applies to the
public?
government.
Let it
If
happen.
feels
They'll
like,
get sued. What are you talking
if they
about?
feel like it's against their company morals or whatever, like those
You,
like
you,
black
your,
faces.
your company cannot
Blackface-
fire you for
okay,
that. They
me
can't.
finish.
Like you have to be
Let me
realistic here.
finish.
That's what you
Can
can
I
wear a
finish?
hat. People wear hope t-shirts of
Can I
Obama,
finish?
right?
Doing black faces on your face.
This is not. This is
no.
not.
I'm
this
saying
is not
I'm
about
saying you
blackface.
say freedom of speech. Freedom of speech only applies to the government. The government can prosecute you for your speech. That's it.
So let's
Anything
get back
else that
to this
happens
thing.
to you.
So
can
let's
happen
get back
to
because
you
I feel like
as
you're. I
speech.
feel like you're
That's it.
kind of meandering off
How am I
here.
meandering?
Because I don't know what this has to do with what these kids did. Look, I'm not trying to defend these kids. All I'm saying is that I watched the whole video in full context. And what happened was that those black Israelites were cursing the kids out.
Which
and
was
then,
wrong.
And then the way that they counteracted that was that they started singing their school chants. And it was while they were singing their school chants that the Native American the Native American vet came and started beating the drum. And initially, the news reported that the kids were bullying him and taunting him. But in actual fact, the kids were just being kids. They were dancing to his drumming. And that was
it?
Yeah, that was it. And
But
then
he
the
was supposed
media
to be trying to
and then-
mediate it too, right? That was his point. He was supposed to be getting between.
That was what he said.
right.
But he went up to the guy. You know
To
that,
the-
right?
to who?
To the kid.
He
with
was
the smirk.
walking by, right?
Yeah.
That's what he stepped in between the black
This
Israelites
thing,
and the white kids.
The video is online. Just watch it.
I watched
Like,
it.
but I can't. I don't know. I don't understand why you're arguing. If you saw the video, you see that the guy walked up to the little kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that he wasn't. His intent wasn't to be, and he was trying to be like a mediator. That was what he was doing.
Anyway, long story short is, this goes back to what we talked about last year about mob mentality. What you're still looking for it?
No, I found it.
You're still looking for it.
I found it.
Anyways, it goes back to what we were saying last year about mob mentality, and this really proved it. Now the kids are suing everybody. They're suing the CNN, they're suing news sources, they're suing people that are putting out bad statements. People who are talking about these kids deserve to be punched, all these things. And I just feel like it goes back to this thing about me, what that video showed to me. I didn't take offense to anything that happened there. All it showed to me was that people have freedoms and they're allowed to be able to speak those things. I think that's what makes this country so special. If this thing happened in another country, that thing could have been a bloodbath. And you know what?
What do you mean?
Yeah,
By who was gonna start attacking?
when you have people with such conflicting views, you have black Israelites, and then you put kids with Donald Trump MAGA hats, and then you put Native Americans who are, some people have said, have been the most oppressed in this country.
They are.
And there was no bloodshed in other countries. That thing could
Well,
have ended up really, really bad. And
that's the thing about America.
To me, that's what I'm saying. I think people are missing the big picture here. We're so focused on, he was smirking, MAGA hats, this, that.
I didn't agree with all that
and
one.
it's
All
just
I'm
like,
saying was
for me,
those kids are racist kids. That's all I'm saying.
But
Not
where's
even.
the article?
I just here.
you keep calling
Here,
people racist. You don't
read.
know. You don't know if this
I
is
just
the
showed
same-
you blackface that they did
Okay.
in their
Covington-
rally. They had a basketball game with black kids,
Covington on Fox
other
and Friends,
opposites,
blackface.
and they had black faces.
This is Daily Beast. I beg, please, let's move on. Daily Beast.
okay.
Yeah, reading something from the Daily Beast.
I
Read
showed you
articles
the
on these
article,
kids.
The picture
But
of
they-
them
but-
chanting in the black.
But
Look
how
at
do
the
you know
picture.
these are the same kids that were also at the Covington place?
I said the school has a racist
But how
culture.
do you,
Is what I'm saying.
But that has nothing to do with anything. How do you know these are the same kids that were in DC that day? How do you
Well,
know?
I don't know.
You're
that.
just looking at the picture.
I didn't
So
say
why
it
are
was
you
them. I'm
bringing that
saying
up?
the school
That is
has a
irrelevant.
racist culture.
That is irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant.
That's
That's what they're grown. That's what they were.
So is that why they
programmed
deserve to
think.
be? Is that why
Nobody
they deserve
said-
to be
did I-
punched in the face?
No.
But that's what people were calling for, and that's the mob mentality I was talking
But
about.
you know
we
that,
rushed to
Corey.
judgment from these two
I'm not
many
gonna
clips
lie, though.
without
That guy's
context.
Joe looks so sweet for a punch. I'm just saying. Man.
I do not. I do
I'm
not
sorry, but
support that kind of
freedom of
statement.
speech does not
We shouldn't call for violence
does not
against
mean
kids. They
freedom
were
of
high school
consequences. I'm sorry.
kids. We
Freedom
shouldn't
of
call for violence
speech-
against high school kids.
Freedom of speech does not.
And you bringing up
free
the
you
Daily
from
Beast does not disprove
consequences.
anything.
That's all I'm saying.
But moving on.
That's all I'm saying. You can't escape from consequences of what your speech gives you. That's all. All your speech all freedom of speech protects you from is the government prosecuting you. That's it.
It's only you only feel that way when it's speech you don't agree with.
No.
Half
You
the
can
country
say whatever.
are MAGA supporters. You can't do anything about it.
Farrakhan's speeches and stuff. He had consequences. Look at the woman rally that happened. This DNC pulled out.
You cannot
That's
get
their
fired. You cannot
consequence.
get fired for your political leanings.
You can't.
No,
Who said
that's what. But you kept bringing up. Oh,
No,
you
no,
can
I'm
get
saying
fired.
freedom.
Things
No,
can
I
happen.
was saying freedom of speech is what I'm
Yeah,
saying. If
you're-
you said
you're
something that
obfuscating.
your job does not agree with, they can fire you. Freedom of speech does not protect you at your job.
Anyways, let me.
That's what I'm saying.
There's this clip I want to play, which goes to this whole thing that we always talk about, where we had people talk about white privilege, right? Where people play this. Look, this everything that happened with that whole Native American stuff. What did they call it? They call it intersectionalism. And what ended up happening was that certain people got villainized more than other people. You notice that the one group of people in that video that no one really talks about is the black Israelites.
Yeah. Rich Hood probably the one that started the whole thing,
That
right?
you know what I'm saying. So I think it just goes to show, to me, this whole thing about intersectionalism, where we hold certain groups to higher standards than other groups.
Is that what intersectionalism mean, though?
Yes, it's the whole thing about racism is based on power structures.
Yeah.
And if you're not in a group that is in power, then you can't be racist, or you can't be held to the same standard as whatever group you perceive as being in power. That's the whole idea about intersectionalism. And I think intersectionalism is just another fancy word for racism. That's
No.
my
Correct.
opinion.
Intersectionality.
Let me play this
Can I read
clip
you what
for
the
you.
definition of intersectionality is?
Yes.
It's when they overlap
Yes.
race and class and gender.
Yes.
When they overlap, that's not what racism is.
That's
though.
my
It's
point. So
the
you had different
interconnected nature of
groups that
social
overlap.
category, and so as that's racism.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that when people do this hierarchy where they say certain groups cannot be racist towards other groups,
But that's not what intersection. It's not overlapping.
you don't. I think when this whole thing went over your head, I talked
Are you
about
serious?
yeah, it did. I talked about the fact that there was a certain group in that clip,
Right.
that no one really held to the same kind of
But
standard
that's
as
not what
the kids.
intersectionality is.
And then you've been picking on the kids, saying that they deserve what they get.
I'm
this,
going
this,
by
and
your
that.
intersectionality.
You're holding the kids to a higher
definition,
standard. You're not
and that's
saying
not what
anything about the other
intersectionality
people.
is, correct.
Okay, play this clip.
Anyway.
This clip is it's
When I use the
a
term,
very
use the right
interesting
term.
clip.
That's not the right term.
It's a
to
very
use.
interesting clip.
Across different parts of the media world, done the work so that I'm qualified to be in each one. I never considered my color the issue. I considered my qualifications the issue.
Well, David, that's a whole nother long conversation about white privilege and things that you have the privilege of doing that people of color don't have the privilege of.
How do I
And to
have
answer
the privilege of white privilege?
David, by virtue of being a white male, you have white privilege. This whole long conversation, I don't have time to get into it.
Ariva, I hate to break it to
You have to
you,
invite-
but you should have been better prepped. I'm black.
Okay, then I stand.
See, you
for
went to
white
white privilege. This is the falsehood in this. You went immediately with an assumption. Your people, obviously, or you didn't look. You're talking to a black man
They
who
gave you
started
wrong
out in rock
information.
radio in Boston, who crossed the paths into hip hop, rebuilding one of the greatest black stations in America, and went on to work for Fox News, where I'm told apparently blacks aren't supposed to work, but yet you come with this assumption and you go to white privilege.
David,
That's actually
David, let me correct-
insulting.
It is, and I apologize because my people gave me wrong information. They told me
The
they
whole
sent me some
white
information
privilege
about-
thing is
David,
insulting.
can I apologize and correct the record? I want to apologize. I was given wrong information about you, and I apologize.
But
for
based
that.
on my
But
color, you were going to something that I was part of. And just to add to it, my family background is white, black, Indian, Arawak, Irish, Scottish. I mean, it's so diverse. I'm like the UN when it comes to this. And this is part of the problem with driving a narrative around a construct like white privilege. Privilege is one thing where applied wealth, economy, various social factors. But
Yeah,
not
that was this CNN commentator had called into this show, this radio show, and they were arguing about, I guess the whole had something to do with racism, because I didn't hear the argument before, but basically it boiled down to this lady just assuming, I guess from his voice.
He did sound like a white guy.
he did kind of sound like,
He sounded
but
like a
she
white
must have
guy.
gotten bad information. But I just thought it was so interesting how that was, and I hear this kind of arguments a lot these days, where people go to this immediate knee-jerk reaction when we're
we're trying to discuss and we're trying to speak on things in a nuanced manner, and what ends up happening is, and what ends up happening is, we make assumptions, we prejudge people. And I think this was a very good example of this woman. She came into the argument.
She just went off
and without really having any kind of evidence, just assumed that the reason why he was wrong was because of this thing called white privilege. And it's not just white privilege. There's other ones. There's male privileges. And I think for me, it's not that these things don't exist. It's just that I feel like we've gotten to a point these days where we're not able to have discussions because of these perceived notions of, well, you have this privilege. You can't see from where I'm coming from. What did you guys think about the video? Let me not ramble.
I mean, you're right. People already have this predefined thought process, which sometimes it's hard for you to think, because it's like, oh, once something happens, you start looking at. I mean, I showed you that no, it's not. I showed you that post about Pierce Morgan, and even though he was wrong because she's actually a white lady, but let me see if I can find it. Basically, somebody tweeted that
the clitoris has
so she said the clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings and still isn't as sensitive as a white man on the internet.
That's a bar.
And he said the penis has 8,000 nerve endings too, but if I said it still isn't as sensitive as a black woman on the internet,
but the woman wasn't black.
Forget that. But he's right. If Pierce Morgan woke up and tweeted that, he will get banned from the internet.
I mean,
so what's the difference in? And I look at tweets from black women. Black people think they can't be racist, and because of being oppressed and all that stuff. But I look at tweets sometimes and how some black people talk, and I'm like, even Nigerians, even everywhere, we're racist sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And it's ignorance too on our part. Mm-hmm. But the truth of the matter is, if a black lady came out to say something about a white man, in this case she was actually white, but nothing would be said. If a white lady came out to say something about a black woman, there'll be a problem. Mm-hmm. If a white man came to say something about a black woman, there'll be a problem. Athletes get flack a lot for dating white women. It's their fucking preference.
But you have to go for that. If a black man says something wrong about, or something whatever about a gay person or a trans, then that person usually gets crucified also.
Oh yes,
yeah.
It's in that community
I mean, the power
too.
structure.
There's
a power structure.
The way I see it,
I don't like.
I don't like that.
I don't like
too.
the fact that we see ourselves through these power
structures.
structures.
It's a thing you don't like it, but it's a thing that exists.
If you're gonna do it, my thing is
judge everyone individually.
That's my thing. If you're gonna do it,
they are based
the
on
structure. It's a thing that's been around America for the longest time.
It's not and it's racism. That's what it is.
Look, if you're going
to,
if I say something about, if a white man says something about a black person and you're going to come at him, also come at the black guy who says about a white person. But the internet will laugh at it. Everybody will smile with it.
Just because people
and
laugh at it doesn't mean it's not wrong. There's no petition
to get him off the air. There's no, and I do understand it's coming from a place of oppression. I keep saying every time, I'm Nigerian. I grew up very comfortable. I never understood slavery. I mean, since I moved here, I have seen. We would never understand.
Right.
I mean, I have seen people discriminate. But even then, even when an officer pulls me over and I go into my full-blown Nigerian mode, you're like, you know what? I don't know how you guys do in Nigeria, but it's fine. Sometimes you get a pass for being African compared to being.
They see you as less threatening.
Less threatening. So I do understand that.
I understand that those things exist. But I'm saying when we relate to each other, do not just assume.
Right, I agree with that. You shouldn't assume, right? And everybody can be racist. I agree with that. We can all be racist, but you'll be misinformed if you forget that there is a power structure in America, especially in America.
Well, if you want to end that, you have to end that structure somewhere or the other, and it has to be an even playing ground.
It has to be.
It's an institutional
I just want
to
be held to the same standards.
That's just what I'm saying.
I want there to be something more uniform, where it's not like we give certain people a pass and we don't give certain people a pass. I want to be held to the same
Pierce
standard.
Doesn't help himself because he says a lot of bullshit.
I can't stand Pierce. I'm sorry.
It's just as a good example that I saw. He says a lot of bullshit, but it's just an example that could be,
Anyway, let's move off that. I know it's one of these heavy topics, but it's what's the point if we don't get to talk about these things? Do you guys have anything to add?
No, I think it's time to go home.
Time to go.
Okay. But before I go, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, Smiling Sufferer. On Instagram, we are there at smiling_sufferer. On Twitter, we are at smilingpod. Please, you can tune into us every weekend, usually Saturdays between 12 and 12:30. Go to 1500radio.net. You can listen to us live on there. You can also you can link up with us on Facebook or Smiling Sufferer. Check us out. Please subscribe to our page. Follow us, like, comment. Want to hear back from you. Wally, do you want to introduce us?
Closing song, Burna Boy, my favorite, new song with forget his name. It's the guy that did the Zanku stuff. Oh, forget his name. But anyway, it's called
Zlatan.
Zlatan. It's called Killing Them. Yeah, Burna Boy and Zlatan.
Bye, guys.
Enjoy.
Bye.